Greetings, brethren, and welcome to the first ever episode of the How to Lose at Chess series, where I, the Chess Crusader, play games against horrible opponents so that we can analyze their blunders and not make their mistakes ourselves. So let's get right into it. That's the opening. We will just play a game against Martin, 250 rated bot on chess.com. I'm pretty sure he's the worst bot. So let's play a game against him and analyze his mistakes so that we don't make them ourselves. Okay, so our opponent, very standard move into the center. Let's play something called the Scandinavian. We'll see if he takes, what he does here. Okay, so he moves forward. This isn't a horrible blunder or anything off the beginning, but he attacks my pawn, and I can just push to threaten the knight, and it wins time because he has to move it again. Okay, and he goes here. That's totally fine. We can just attack the knight again, though. No reason not to. We can, yeah, let's just go here, attack the knight. Okay, and he moves it. And we can once again attack the knight by just going here. So we will do that. Our pieces are now open for development. So, okay, he puts his knight all the way over to the edge of the board. We can do tons of stuff. We can go here. We can do stuff. Let's just develop a piece, though. We can go here. Maybe trade his only active piece in the position. Okay, he does that. We take back with our queen. Very abnormal off the beginning. He hasn't blundered. Okay, and right as I speak, he does that. He's like, well, I lost my knight in the early opening, and I have no pieces out here. So he decided to bring his piece out to the worst possible square, probably, and hangs his bishop in one move. Now he still has to get another piece out. He gets his queen out. Okay, I would have brought out the knight, or maybe pushed this so he could get his bishop out. But he develops his queen. So what can we do? Well, we can get out our bishop of our own. We can move our knight. Probably want to move out our bishop first before we get the knight to that square. But let's move this bishop here. Develop a piece. Now we're ready for castling. Okay, that's a totally reasonable move. We can en passant to no advantage because actually this pawn's very strong now because he can't attack it with any piece. Not a direct blunder, but definitely something he could have looked out for. Let's just castle. Keep everything nice and safe. That's what we'll do. Okay, so this is actually a good move. He wants to trade his queen while enabling the development of his knight. We don't really want him to do that, but it's Martin. We'll give him a bone because now he can develop his knight and then attack the center. Yeah, he does that. Wow, he's doing a pretty good job, I must say. I could defend this with this pawn, sorry, with this knight, or bringing back this bishop. But I'll develop this rook, and because if I brought my knight here, I would have blocked the development of my bishop. He castles, a good move, honestly. He's not doing so bad. Besides hanging his bishop on like the third move of the game, maybe the fourth. Yeah, it hasn't been so bad. Anyway, this next move is horrible. He built a house for the king. The king was one move ago very safe, very secure. Unless, of course, I took like this and he takes back, then he's open. But somehow Martin manages to find a move that's even worse. He's just attacking me by destroying the safety of his king. I can go here. The same idea still exists, except now this pawn is uber weak. So let's do that. We can try a rook lift over here. Okay, so now he's got his king out over here. Let's bring this rook over. Might as well just try to attack. Okay, he moves his rook over a square. That's reasonable. But it attacks nothing, so it's not very reasonable. I would have rather him moved it to a different square. But now we can just threaten this pawn like this, and he has no way to even go and get this pawn. So I'm just going to pick this up for free. You can move this pawn to attack Okay, so he goes here. That's totally fine. Except it's not because I can just take that. Sorry, I guess. Might as well just leave my bishop there, honestly. It's very strong if I moved up either of these pawns. I still haven't moved my knight or my rook, but we can go here, pick up our free pawn. Very cool. Okay, and I guess actually his rook was hanging, and I just didn't see it after this move, which was entirely a free rook. So that is definitely a blunder, but maybe not this far into the game because we're already up so much material. And I missed it because I got a little short-sighted on this pawn here, but that's a blunder of our own, I guess. This bishop is like invincible on this square if I wanted to take him there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to develop this knight, and I'm going to bring this rook over here. Okay, that's not horrible. He wants to increase the scope of his bishop, except I can just take this because his bishop attacks it, but I can just take it. So I'll just take it. I can put my knight here. Okay, he wants to put his pawn forward. That's, we can stop any progress on the side by just pushing on here. His pieces are kind of boxed in. Okay, he goes for this pawn. We just reinforce it with this pawn. Now there's nothing doing. Okay, he moves his king over. We could just do a trade here to get this rook, but I'm not gonna concern myself with that too much. I could set up my rook on this file for some sort of a discovered attack on this bishop, but I'm gonna go here to put my knight, give some like threats on some different areas. Okay, brings his rook forward. That like those rooks are going nowhere. I don't know exactly what he's looking for, but now all of this is kind of deadlocked. So I'm gonna just move my rook over here. Take some time to bring him over. Okay, takes the pawn with no benefit. So we're gonna go here. He could try to push this pawn or something. Okay, he goes there. My opponent is wise in his behavior. We can block the king from going in. This is actually almost mate. This is mate. What do you know? Mate by accident, because this pawn covered this square. We go here, which is defended, and this bishop covers this square. This pawn covers this square. This pawn covers this square, and we can go here and deliver checkmate with the rook. So that's, actually, he didn't do too bad. Martin did not do too bad. He hung his bishop, like, entirely, and he hung that rook that I missed at one point. I was going over it pretty fast, but he didn't actually do too bad. So let's do a game review of this very quickly. We'll analyze our opponent's mistakes. Okay, so he played it at 60. I only played it at 75% accuracy because I was not going for optimal plays. We had to give Martin a little bit of a bone sometimes, and I missed that one play. But yeah, we'll go over this right here. So, pawn forward, Scandinavian basic book move. And we're already out of... Oh, he's not out of theory. What do you know? Well, it gives me, like, Scandinavian. It's supposed to be beneficial for your opponent. 0.6 there for him, but now here, and I just push. I guess it's all theory, but now, yeah, he brings his knight here, and I'm just able to attack it. So, what should you not do? Do not put your pieces in places they can be attacked in the opening, because now I'm like, boom, I got a pawn. He's going to go back. I attack it again. He's going to run back once more, and now we just go here just to try and get rid of his knight with development. And there we go. And then, yeah, here we go. Here's the first ever blunder on the How to Lose at Chess series. It's this bishop. He just brings it straight out. He's like, I got to develop a piece. And he just hangs it entirely. So, yeah, we take back there. We could have taken with the knight. We didn't. We took with the pawn. Yeah, brought the bishop out. That's totally fine. He wants to go there. Whatever. We castle just to make things very nice. Yeah, good moves. This isn't bad because if I trade, he gets to come out. Of course, that's only if I do trade, but I decide to. And yeah, now we develop our own pieces. This was a good move, apparently. This is crazy to me. I don't know why this is a good move. He's got goals beyond our understanding. One of the best moves. It doesn't show me the list of good ways to go here. For some reason, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, now we just a good move into best move of taking. So now maybe the idea is just to try and crash down towards the king. He has no support from his pieces, so I don't know what the deal is there. But yeah, we bring our rook over. He goes here. Yeah, we go here. We get free access to that pawn. He decides to give our bishop some scope. Definitely don't, just attack pieces for the sake of attacking them when they can be taken. Here he moves this pawn. Apparently it's an excellent move, just hanging the rook in one move. Oh, it's not. I see it's kind of like a trade because I go here. I didn't see this before. So this, I take his rook. He takes my rook afterwards, and then after, I take back here and he takes back here, then it's an even trade. It's still like losing for him because I'm up 5 points of material, but we take our pawn. What did it want us to do? Did it want us to take the rook? No, just reposition. Wins material. Well, we won material by taking this pawn anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, just free pawn. He moves the pawn over there, tries to reposition his pieces, but these pieces are all not looking at anything. In a situation like this, you want to run your king and try to get your pieces into the game because these pawns are not going anywhere. They are not moving. It moves his king over. There's a mate in 7. I miss it, apparently. Didn't find the mate in 7. Woe is me. We just want to bring our pieces over. And yeah, he goes here and moves his king forward. Now there's a mate in 2, and we do see this one by accident. Check here, and then everything is perfectly aligned to just deliver a mate. So there you go. That's the first game of the how to go here. That was the first game of the How to Lose a Chess series. We'll do some more videos like this. I'll try to up my commentary, be even funnier. That's the goal. I have a goal of reaching 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we're at about 480 right now. So if you were to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. Join the Crusader army. I stream on Twitch. Used to stream on TikTok, but not really anymore. Feel free to catch me over there on my Discord or on Twitch. And I'd love to play some games against you. I play against my viewers. So thank you for coming to this How to Lose at Chess initial episode. And I'll see you in the next one. Godspeed, brethren.